Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media. I'm so happy that you joined us today. And boy, are you in for a treat. Today we have Buckley, who is the founder and managing owner of Ratio Staffing, which is a groundbreaking platform reshaping how preschools connect with substitute teachers, enrichment educators, and speech pathologists. Wow. I can't wait to get in there. Boy, are you anointed.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming by. And what made you decide to do this?
Well, first, thanks for having me. Yeah, I really appreciate being here. I'm excited too. Yeah, I was a preschool teacher for a long time, and my wife is also a preschool teacher. And
Mhm.
I left the field full time, and I got into manufacturing for a while. And what made me really begin to think about this and look to explore it was after we had our first child, I stayed home with him for a couple years. And I was hearing feedback from my wife's preschool about the difficulty in finding teachers, and there was this constant communication or constant, I guess, discussion around the difficulty in connecting to teachers, especially substitutes. And so I was fortunate that there was opportunity here in San Francisco in the Bay Area to help preschools find these teachers and find each other. So I began getting employed as like on a contract basis with these preschools to help them find teachers. So I was doing like one-on-one recruiting with the schools, helping them find teachers, directors, look at their overall staffing structure, whatever they needed staffing wise. And as I began talking to these hundreds of different teachers all over the Bay Area and dozens of schools, there was always this talk of the lack of connection to substitutes and teachers in general. And I guess maybe this is a long story for a short answer. I just wanted to help. I just wanted to help, and I just want preschools and preschool teachers to find each other because I want the preschool children, the preschoolers, to have the best day they can have. And I feel like if I help the adults find each other and help calm them down, right? Then of course the children have a different day. I have 3 kids myself, so I know the impact I have, whether I think I am or not, when I'm feeling a certain way. If I'm feeling a certain way and my energy is a certain way, the children feel it and it affects them, you know. And so I I I guess in my heart too, I feel like I want to do my part in the world, right? And I feel like for me, everything I hear people say they want the world to be like, I see happening in preschools, right? To me, it's like that last bastion of what we really want the world to be. It's happening in these preschools. And so I figure if I figured if I could help the schools find each other, the teachers in schools find each other, I could help those kids, therefore helping us and helping our world. That's how I think about it. And being one of many helping move the world forward in this way is why I started doing it and why I got into it. And I really enjoy the opportunity to be a part of helping solve a problem that I think has real world impact.
And you absolutely, because if we don't take care of our children, mind, body, and spirit, they are our future.
That's right.
So we need to invest as much as possible. So I definitely am on board with what you're doing. And oh my God, it's
Yeah.
definitely anointed because, people that think the way that you think are rare these days,
Mm.
very rare. I hear some people say, well, I don't have children. And
Right. Exactly. They still exist.
exactly. That's neither here nor there as far as I'm
Right.
concerned.
Right. Right.
And I come from the era where the neighborhood took care of you.
Right.
It was a village, literally, and it works.
Right.
It really does work. So let me just ask with ratio staffing, is this a global type situation or is it local to where you are? How's it work?
We're growing it right now. So we're
Okay.
looking, so we want to be global. We want to be nationwide. We want to be local. We want to be the solution for you wherever you are. Because like you, I agree that it takes all of us together. So I'm not trying to be secluded or have any kind of exclusive or seclusion happening. I want to be spread far and wide wherever it's needed. I also don't think, again, I'm the solution or my company is the solution or only the one way. I believe it's a way that I think is very effective and very beneficial for a lot of people and a lot of schools. If you feel like it's not for you, that's okay. Find something that is for you, I hope, is my hope for you and for our world, right? And so it's set up to meet the needs in any region. And so I was just in Canada last weekend, hopefully helping them up there. Um, I've talked to people in other states across the country. And so we're slowly but surely working on getting the requirements set and getting profiles set for people all over the country. Because again, I do it because I've heard the same concerns all over the country and in Canada and in Colombia. I've heard the same concerns that we have here around being able to connect schools and teachers in a way that makes sense, that's affordable and effective. And I think we offer that. So um, by the time someone hears this podcast, will be available in your area. That's for sure.
Yes, because there definitely is a shortage at all levels,
Right.
at all levels. But to me, where you're focused is the most critical levels, because at the preschool age, their little minds are like sponges.
Right.
They absolutely want to learn and they are engaged, very engaged. And if you can get them engaged and stay engaged at that age, then it will move forward into their later years.
That's right. Yeah, and there's so much research out there as far as I know around the impact the 0 to 5 has on the rest of your life moving forward as an adult, right? I mean, it really is a foundational time. And for whatever reason, I feel like it's not thought of that way sometimes,
No, it's not.
right?
And lately in this country, education is at the bottom of the barrel.
That's right.
The way I think about it, a country that doesn't educate its people is a weak country.
That's right. Yep, that's right. That's what I worry about too, because then now I'm susceptible to whatever may come if I don't understand, or if I'm not educated, right?
Yes.
If I'm not cared for properly, now I'm susceptible to whatever may come, and I don't know any better,
Yeah.
right? Because that happens anyway in life, let alone if you're not shown anything different,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. I mean, because my kid, I homeschool. I started
Nice.
homeschooling at 4 years old. Actually earlier than that, from infant, because like you said, when they're that small, they want to learn. They mimic
Hmm.
everything you do, everything you say, even though they don't know what it means. It's
Right.
they oh, I like the way that sounds. They gonna say it. So by the age of 4, my son was cursive writing. He knew all his ABCs. He knew
Hmm.
he could count to 100. He knew all his colors. And then as he got older, he became the supports for the other toddlers.
Mm. Yeah.
So, and we went to school all year round. We didn't do summer breaks
Right.
because, he was done by 12 every day. And then after that, it was Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
So it wasn't a need to stop in the summertime.
Right. I hear you.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm huge on education. I'm like, when anytime he did anything wrong, he would have to write me an essay
Mm,
as to why it was wrong and what he planned to do to not so this doesn't happen again. It was an essay.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
I couldn't read it, it got balled up and he had to start all over.
right, yeah,
I'm like, I got old eyes. I cannot
right,
do that.
yeah. This is the do-over, redo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am so honored. Now, when you are looking for your substitute teachers and educators, how do you how do you find them?
Yeah, right now what I'm doing is I have a database of resumes from my time recruiting, so I've kind of started there. But
Hmm.
what I try and do is work as closely as I can with local community colleges and universities, helping their students get on the platform and make profiles
Hmm.
because I feel like one, um, and you're in that time in your career, if I'm in school learning still, I may not know for sure I want to get into this industry, but I'm in class for it, right? And so I think it's helpful to have a safe way to get some experience in the field,
Yes.
get some entree into the field. One, to make sure you really want to do it. 'Cause if you don't, that's okay. Let's find out now, right?
Yeah.
Let's find out now. And if you do want to do it, great. Now you can gain all the experience you need while getting paid on your terms while you're in school, right? Because I don't want people thinking about this idea of being worried about committing to a school or taking a job because they think they have to, right? Because I better get a job, I better start working, but I will try and balance school also. I'd rather someone have the security and the control over their life to say school is my priority and I'm going to get some work when I can with
Mhm.
this platform, right? So I want to give, so that's what I do. I try and work with the colleges and universities and emails and some social media, but mainly I try and work with the universities and the colleges, helping their students get on so they can have flexibility, have control in their life, determine their pay, determine their schedule, and get the experience. So when they come out of school, they're ready because in lots of states, and especially here in California, there's no requirement on practicum. There are practicum courses where you go into the field and get hours in the field as a class, but it's not required to be in the preschool classroom.
Mm.
Experience is not required. Some
That
states
should be.
require that. Yeah, but California does not, and other states don't as well. So you can legally come out of school with no experience and go work in a school, you know. And so I'm not here to try and change the government. I'm here to help people get experience regardless, and
Right.
help them have control in their life and make that connection and figure out what they want to do in a safe way. And by safe, I mean they don't have to worry about again committing to a school that turns out wasn't a school they liked, and then they have to quit or they have to stay there even though they don't want to be there. They don't have to worry about their resume looking a certain way, right? There's a bunch of schools on there and that kind of thing, and then people pass them over. With us, you can just put ratio staffing on there as your one job for however many years, and then you're good to go. Because me personally, if I see a teacher who has multiple schools on there, I'm still going to talk to them because I understand you may be trying to find your home,
Hmm.
right? But a lot of people and a lot of agencies and whatever take the standard approach of, oh, you jump around, or I can't trust you, and I understand that, but you can't just generally make that assumption about every resume you see, which people do. And the poor teachers get the brunt of that unnecessarily, I think, unfairly. And so
Yes.
this way, with the platform, you can safely get experience and get work and not worry about your resume in that way.
So how do educators get access to your database and put their names on?
Yeah, you just go to ratiostaffing.com, make a profile. You make your profile, it's free for educators always. And then you're in there. And then once you're in, you can search the schools because the schools make profiles also.
Mhm.
So once you're in there, you can search out schools based on philosophy, location, size of school, that kind of thing. You can check their website. And if you like them, you can save that school as one of your favorites. And
Uh,
if that school posts a job, you'll get notified.
wow.
And yeah, then you'll know, oh, okay, I can go, that school's hiring. I'm going to go apply. And you can apply through our platform. Right.
That's
So
yes.
yeah, so it works nice. So the schools and teachers both have profiles, so both populations can see each other and connect, either directly for substituting, enrichment teaching, or speech pathology. You can connect directly for that. You also can connect for regular full-time employment too, or part-time employment via the job postings and that kind of thing. So it's all you need for just the preschool world. It's everything you need is right there.
Wow. So easy peasy.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So I want to get rid of the noise and the hassle that we deal with in the preschool world. That to me is unnecessary, and I feel like preschool teachers should get the benefits of modern technology too. You know,
Yes.
why don't we get it? You know, and so why don't preschools get it? Why do we have to deal with the noise of Indeed and like Zip and these larger corporations that have extra we don't need? They have more. We don't need all that. We don't need all the noise, all the cost, all the confusion. We don't need that. And so we have it right here with our platform instead.
Yes. This is amazing and well needed for
Yeah,
sure. Well needed. So you were in the biotech and manufacturing arena for a very long time.
yeah,
So I know you bringing a whole lot of gems from that into this. So you want to talk about that
sure.
part of your life?
Yes. Yeah. You know, I worked with children first. Even before that, my first job, I was 13 and I was a photographer's assistant. My dad was in advertising, you know, back in the day when it was all manual, you know, and so he would have a photographer he worked with. And so I worked for that photographer when I was 13. That was my first job. And he taught me so much about life. And I still use those lessons today. And after that, I went to working with children. And when you work with children the way I was taught, you respect the people you're working with, those children. You respect the families, right? And there's certain things, there's a certain professionalism and a certain amount of effort that has to go into it. And the way I was taught by my boss there, Kelly Joe, she didn't play around. If you're here to play around, you're not going to be here. Of course, it's an enjoyable job. We end up having a good time, but that's after the fact. That's after those children are welcomed and nurtured and kept safe, right? You don't forget children's names. You don't forget how many you have, right? You don't forget allergies. Those things don't happen, right? And so, really, it was my time working with children that made me successful in biotech. Because in the manufacturing world, when I got there, you're governed by laws and regulations from the federal government, right? And you work in a team, right? And you have to work together, and things can't happen, right? Certain things can't happen. So my foundation applied actually worked really well in that environment, even though it's a very different field. But what I bring to the business today is while I was there, I was fortunate enough to be able to learn about process improvement and efficiencies and people management in a different way. And I was able to earn my Six Sigma green belt while I was there. And so the combination of experiences and skills ended up being a perfect match, it turned out, for this business, right? That I didn't think about it in that way. It came to be. And as I saw this come to be, was a real light bulb for me in this idea of living in faith and following what's shown to me. I was shown this problem, right, and shown to kind of go this way. And so I've been ever since been following this path of what's needed. And I have the skills to solve it. So I'll use them and help solve this problem, hopefully, you know. And so that product, the process improvement and being effective and efficient and working in groups and helping to manage groups, even though I'm not managing groups now, but those same kind of skills apply here to this business actually.
Yes, yes, indeed it does. Everything we go through in life is connected.
Right.
We may not see it at the time, but as we start to evolve into other areas, it comes together always.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Always.
really did. Yeah,
Yeah,
it really, yeah, you're exactly right. That's been my experience for sure. It's 100% true for me.
indeed. So, what are some of the misunderstandings that people might have about working with preschool age children?
I think, yeah, I think probably the biggest misunderstanding, or again, we kind of mentioned it earlier, the biggest kind of assumption is that they're quote unquote just kids, right? You're just like watching kids. This, I think that to me, I don't know where it comes from or why it is that way, but it feels like that is there in the world. And and I tell people all the time, we're not just watching kids, quote unquote, right? You're ensuring the development and health and safety of this young person. You're also being paid for it. Okay. So there's an expectation of your performance as well. All right. You're not just volunteering, which also doesn't is not really much different either, in my opinion. But you're helping the development of this child, this young person, and the family is entrusting the life of their child with you, right? The and being a parent myself and giving my children to preschools, even though I knew the people at the preschool, I still feel it, right? I'm like, man, I'm still trusting you. I know you, but I don't in this way, because my wife works at the preschool where my boys go or they went. And so even still, I think the misunderstanding is that you're just watching kids. They're gonna forget. Some things kind of don't matter. You know, it, it's funny to me when I think about people's approach and their view of it, and I know this to be true because when I was doing the recruiting, when I would first work with the school, I'd meet with the board of directors, and they would have to sign off on me working there and that kind of thing. And I'd hear so many things about this is the board of directors, and their idea about what the school needs, and it was just so far off, and so it's not just watching kids, right? You're helping to raise young people, period. And
Sure.
if you think that's just watching kids, then I think you should probably be in a different line of work,
Yes, it's absolutely more than that.
right?
Absolutely more. I mean, and who would ever think that?
I know, and I always say, well, if you feel that's how you feel, then go send your kids somewhere and say, just watch them for me. You really gonna do that? You know, I don't think so. And even if you don't have kids, then give someone your pet. Oh, just watch him for me. I don't care. Is that what you really think? Is that how you feel? Is that what you really would do? No, you wouldn't.
No, you
Right?
would
Yeah.
not at all. So, when parents, let's talk a little bit about the parent side of things. I'm sure they are welcoming this um, endeavor that you're working upon. And so, what are some of the things that you relay to parents in terms of evaluating whether a preschool is truly supporting its teachers and staff?
Yeah, good question. I think people always ask us, like, me and my wife, 'cause my wife, is a preschool teacher and she got both her degrees in the field. So she's a lot smarter than me. And so people are always asking her and us, since because of our preschool background, how do we know it's the right school? What should we look for? The same kind of thing. And I think it is a good question and an important one. And I think it varies so much from child to child, family to family, of course. But the first thing Alexis and I always tell people is, how do you feel when you're there? Right? The preschool world isn't always quantifiable. It's not a numbers game, right? In this way. And you have to feel comfortable there, right? How do you feel when you're there? Do you want your child with those people? Do you think they care about your child? Did you get that feeling? Right? And sometimes just from one tour, you can't tell. Maybe you need more time there if you can get it. Maybe you need another tour. Maybe you need a different kind of interaction. Maybe you need like a play date there with that school. So to me, that's most important. How do you feel? But the nuts and bolts of it, I think it's important to find out from the school if the teachers have prep time. Are they given time to prep for their day? Right? Because to me, if a school is working in prep time for their teachers, I know that school believes their teachers are professionals and they treat them like professionals. Every other profession, you're not expected just to jump in and figure it out later.
True.
You're right. There's time to prep and prepare because you're respected like a professional. So I think parents should find out, do they get prep time? How's it look? When's it done? Do they get prep time? And how do they deal with teacher outages? Do they have a platform like mine? Do they have an agency? Do they have someone who's going to come in and ensure there's someone filling in for that outage? I think those two things, because I say that because if you don't feel right, or I should say maybe in a more positive way, if you feel right, the teachers are getting time to prep and they feel right, and you know there's always enough staff there, everything else will be executed. Because if you go in thinking about the philosophy first, I don't care what philosophy it is. If no one's there, they have no time to prep, the philosophy won't be executed anyway. Right. So to me, it's definitely has to be first your feeling. Do they have time to prep? AKA, are the teachers respected and cared for? What do they
Mhm.
do for outages? If you have that foundation, then you know they can execute the philosophy properly. Right. So to me, it's why it's secondary, the philosophy and everything else.
Yes, I have to agree with you because I go with my gut. If
Right.
if I walk in some place and my gut ain't feeling it, it's a wrap.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And sometimes I think parents, sometimes especially out here in the San Francisco Bay Area, I think parents sometimes second guess that because there's this emphasis on like, whatever. And I think they feel like they should just instead push through it and look for something else quantifiable. And I don't think so. I think that your gut, especially as a parent, has to be followed in that way.
Yes, absolutely. Because usually, if you feeling it, you're not wrong.
That's right.
You're not wrong.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I know that you are have looked at other agencies and, kind of like what their models are in comparison to yours. So, and based on that analysis, what didn't you implement in yours?
Well, it's funny. I implemented nothing like theirs, basically. I implemented the exact opposite, right? Because those agencies, their whole model and their whole approach is on restricting and keeping, right? And making money first. I'm not
Uh,
saying people can't make money. I'm not against a business making money. That's fine. What I'm saying is you're making money on the back of those teachers in a way that I think is inappropriate, like immoral and mean, right? Their model is I'm going to employ these teachers, I'm going to lease them out to the school, right? I'm going to tell them where to go. They have no say in where they go. I'm going to pay them as little as I can, right? And then I'm going to put a price on their contract. So if a school loves this teacher, meaning the kids love that teacher, and the school wants to retain them as a regular teacher, they have to buy them out of their contract at a rate the school can't afford, mind you,
true.
right? And then let's say to get around that, you tell the teacher, well, just quit the agency, just leave, right? If they do that, the agency tells the school, they've already worked for you. I don't care if they quit. You can't hire them for 6 months, otherwise I charge you anyway,
Wow.
right? So they restrict and try and keep, right? And try and separate, right? All there's very selfish.
Yeah.
And to me, it's detrimental to the teacher's career too, because they end up not getting hired. They get stuck in this cycle of being the substitute, which is not bad being a substitute. But in their situation, it is bad because they can't get out of it.
True.
Right? It keeps them in this cycle that does not help their career. And what ends up happening is since they have no say in where they go, they get sent to a school where they have no experience with the age group or with the philosophy, right? And or they didn't want to go that day. And so they get there and then they're just a body in the room because they're like, I don't know what to do here. I don't want to be here. And then the feedback about them is, oh, there's a body in the room. But it's not their fault, right? They're
Yeah.
probably a fantastic teacher in the age group they know and the philosophy they spent years working on, right? So it's this unjust response about them too, unjust feedback. And so we don't do any of that, right? We don't do any of that. The school gets to choose who comes to their school. More importantly, the teacher can say yes or no. instead of calling me and saying, "Oh, do you have someone available?" Don't waste time with me. Call the teacher directly, right? Review their profile and say, "Oh, you have experience in my same philosophy. Okay, I'll call you." They call the teacher. See, the teacher can ask them, "Where are you? How much are you going to pay? What's the philosophy? What's the age? Whatever they want."
I
And if they don't
like
like it, they can say, "No, thank you." They hang up the phone, right? And so, so they get to decide where they go. And same as the school. Also, we encourage schools. We tell them, if you like them, keep them, quote unquote, right? You like that teacher? Your kids like them? Hire them. Make them your regular teacher if you need one, right? We say, please, like, hire them away from us. Take them away, right? That's why we're here. We want you to connect, right? So for me, instead of coming from a place of scarcity, I feel like we come from a place of abundance because together we're abundant,
yeah.
right? Together there's enough. In our village, we have enough, right? So for us, it's the exact opposite of those agencies. And same as Indeed. Indeed doesn't care if your job posting gets the right applicants or not. They care your job posting is up and you're paying them every month. They don't care who applies. They just care that you're paying them and applications are coming in. They don't care who it is, right? So that's why with ours, we verify every profile before they're live on the platform. So we can guarantee you're only going to find preschool teachers. Only preschool teachers will apply to your job. When you search for someone, you'll only find preschool teachers. So we try and do the opposite of what those agencies were doing because I don't they what the larger companies do, like the staffing agencies and Indeed, it's not based on care for the preschool and the teacher. It's not based on care for the children. It's based on care for their business, which they're allowed to do. Just for us, it doesn't work,
And
right?
it should be all about providing, to me, integrity
Right.
matters.
That's right.
Integrity matters. I mean, because at the end of the day, money is always understood, but you need to make people feel valued.
That's right. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yes, because it's nothing. I mean, that old saying, people work with people they like. Truth.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And another thing, and this might be a little bit off topic, the AI thing.
Right.
It's so impersonal.
Right.
And a lot of companies, don't get me wrong, I love AI. But a lot of companies are, especially in the hiring staffing arena, is using that exclusively to evaluate applicants for jobs. And to me, they're leaving good people on the table.
That's right.
Uh,
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I don't want a machine to evaluate nothing for me.
Right.
I
Right.
gotta feel you. I gotta talk to you because it's not just having the skill sets, it's also who are you as a person.
That's right. It's a relationship-based business too, for
Yes.
preschool especially, right? So I tell everyone on the website, you fill out that contact form, it's going to come right to me, and I will talk to you. You're going to
Yeah.
reach me, right? You're going to reach a person, right? We're going to talk. Yeah, we're going to figure it out. We'll find something out together. We'll figure it out together,
Yes.
right? Yeah. There's no shortcutting and all this kind of stuff that yeah I don't agree with in our world in this way at all.
Yes. Yes. It's nothing like that human connection.
Right.
You can't, it's nothing on this earth like that.
Right.
So, if you had a magic wand, and we kind of already went through the pros and the cons here, what would you fix in the preschool ecosystem?
I mean, first and foremost, I would get everyone paid more, right? We'd find a way to make sure pay was appropriate, you know, and that goes for education of all levels, in my opinion. I'm not sure why a teacher's paid any less than a doctor,
Me either.
then I don't get it. I don't see how a teacher makes less than a medical doctor. I mean, and I understand the priorities in our country are what they are, but for me, that's if I had a magic wand, that's what I would do. Is in first and foremost increase the pay across the board for all teachers of all levels, and secondly, I would try and do what we're doing now on a grander scale of when I think about it, the grander scale meaning when I envision it, my vision is there's hordes of teachers, right, who are happy, right, and comfortable, right, and confident in the fact that they can find the work they need to find and the school they want to find, right, and I see like happy and content schools also, right. I see this like this fluid kind of populations that are content, right, and not concerned with work and pay. You know,
Yes.
that's if I had a magic wand, that's what I would be doing, right? It's like, and I can't change policy in the country, and I can't change pay, unfortunately. There are agencies I know that are working on that, so I love reading about that. But what I can do is try and do again my small part of helping that connection happen and helping that peace of mind and ease of connection happen for work, for them. So that's what we're trying to do with this is at least bring some of that ease and comfort around finding work and the work you like and the school you like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, Paul, you got a big heart.
Yeah. Like-
So again, how do educators find you?
Ratiostaffing.com. Go to the website. You can make a profile. And again, if you want to talk, fill out the contact form and I'll call you back and you can get in touch and we can talk about it. But ratiostaffing.com is all you need, really.
Yes, yes. So I am looking forward to following you with this. And definitely, I mean, I know quite a few educators, and I will definitely be passing your information over to them in my neck of the woods because what
Great.
you're doing is so needed. And the quality that you're putting into it matters,
Yeah. Thank you.
and I can feel the passion. I know that at the end of the day, they will be in good hands.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I appreciate you taking time out, Paul, and we'll have to do this again.
All right. Yeah. Sounds good to me. It was really enjoyable. Thank you so much. It was nice to
Abs-
be here.
Absolutely. And audience, thank you as well. As always, we appreciate you too.